Papa Kwesi Injum of the Progressive People's Party, which PPP. Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku, which is my body ni. Right, inti Madam Abedru Hanmo. Madam, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to your listeners. That's here for.
Yeah, that's be say wajipene no pay ni ebetwin komo e wade achimbia ejumedie so. Na sanso ma kwaba ediba epiemantem any GBC Sunrise FM.
Yeah.
Say be make sebo funu any shino. Right, so briefly Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku, that was earlier this month, and PPP presidential candidate Dr. Papa Kwesi Injum as a winner over partner no going into this year's election. Namako pray akunyano ediama Progressive People's Party. Why Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku for the benefit of a man for Kakromute and Ibia or enimu but omushada nimu papa no.
President Dzogbenuku may as you can tell from my name, no, yeah, Volta region. My name Papa, army officer, nti me Ghanaian, Matina Ghana, a cool piece. Mfitia say wo takrade. Me ko na me started school wo Tamale, nursery school. And I ba camp na me ko primary classes classes kakra ho ne free ho ne ko takrade. Me say sanko takrade, me sanko school kakra ho. Army schools ya. And I me free ho ne ba samba ba camp. And I'm a call me primary school Bema camp. If you want call Wesley Girls from 1 to 7 I will Cape Coast. And if you want call University of Ghana Kusian languages. Me and my age my baby P say Elf Oil as national service. Yeah, national service or Elf Oil and I'm a call SC Johnson for 2 years as brand manager marketing. To me, marketing or brands marketing free ho no na me call me free bianca na me free ho and na me start me am a business na me dey events into event planning into conferences seminars parties and I did annual general meetings dinner dances na did no events na me no be 2 years no. And Ashanti Goldfields frame Mission University me languages me French and Swahili into me can Swahili since I can French mom into say me called na Tanzania yeah 1 year of University of Tanzania into me me business no those days so na dum so into dum so kakra ba energy business na ebre. And Ashanti Goldfields firm so one start your mine projects be Tanzania Gator or Tanzania into normal liaison officer na may apply any farm into McCoy and I'm McCoy Juma or be 1.5 years be into no me buy na me samba Ghana na near start near Sea Aviation Social Center yeah fitness and recreational center. And also no idea na me papa into normal general manager into me apply as the first general manager of Aviation Social Center. It's now about 12 years set up no me running for about 12 years into me free no and me am set up my business to run the same provide the same kind of services. Now me dey run a Barclays Clubhouse on me free. Me call her 2011 or 2012 and me free her last year 2015. Now me work on my aviation you know na me start me non-profit. My aviation no I got the opportunity to go and participate in the US in a mentoring program sponsored by Fortune. I'm sure somebody to Fortune doing that. And the US State Department and US Embassy for ASR arrangements, every year no more than focus and I was one of those selected into my yes our mentoring program no obesa ba na oni emma abaye adwuma into me buy no na me best set up mentoring women Ghana as a non-profit this mentor young girls into me program no every year no you select about 40 girls from tertiary institutions, tertiary just a polytechnic and a university. And say yeah ye be my girls be free her Koforidua and Koforidua polytechnic aba or ma be participate. And you select your one near match your more with women in executive positions and now accomplished women ma omitimi abo homo den o ma kwanim kakra. Nti e ma no ebe boa sa young girls he said you mbesi aya omo so mbetimi adru bebia omo mpemfo no e wo no. Nti every year no year run this program no ema be 40 girls be around March. And see that's one of the flagship program of mentoring women. And me call Barclays Clubhouse na me work so no na me start me am private business ye de man o mo me krom no omoye fitisi omoye enwo jomi authentic pa na ye de so enti na me ma me de breme e na me namfo start ejeje ye say omo pebi enti eno mu na mitimi de hu so ade omoye na papa nso endu nkran obi enhu enti me momo de me start e de bankran a package na fufo e de good bottles o mo ton market local market enti de good rubber man na use bottles ba fe ye package it nice ye hu certification card anyina ye bitimi de cc shops and I say ye beton ye de be export enti eno na meye and no ane also oya hwan meye obi ma me so oba we do 12 years
not just say anyone de why you bia nya ho experience ni ade bebre you've come a long way but ba could be o me say out very conspicuously missing which is now you Miss Ghana.
Miss Ghana dey say nyedumo ai na me Miss Ghana
but say achievements kese pa Ghana na ya power say
but 25 years ni nsama me kan nyina no em say bia me school kono mu na me koye Miss Ghana enti enye I guess it's quite an achievement but yeah na nkrofo person omode no ye the main focus.
Okay.
Miss Ghana, dear, it is an achievement, but
all right. But you know, a lot goes into being chosen as Miss Ghana. Understanding your own
indeed, Miss Ghana, it does come with that, but then I can say after 25 years, no. Me anka me wish say niema metimi achieve no eno bebro say me di Miss Ghana pe.
Okay.
It seems say nkrofo PD eno define me, but there's a lot more to me than Miss Ghana.
There is a lot more to her than Miss Ghana. Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku na Otenin Kano presidential running mate Edema Tapapa Kusindu Progressive People's Party. Ono enemy girls and no pay me no train komo ewo development agenda also ewo GBC Sunrise 106.7 and 102.1 FM. Afe yembra strictly to your involvement in politics. As a member of Occupy Ghana Anna.
I Occupy Ghana enya membership.
Okay.
At least not that I know of. Enya dia obiakuta card. Occupy Ghana initially no a young men been a start here. Metie na monsieur, this is for a good cause. Now they were protesting bad governance. Intimate, now I agreed with them. I feel so I did more, it made sense. And Siname say, Makwako Kaumo. Na demonstration na my baby. And Makoy, na Facebook, on Facebook, no complaining P about near man and Koye. And Simaka, say, Omobeye, sir, demonstration, I'm castle, Mekahubi. Enti mekoye na me say dey na complain sa nti no me do ha no omo frɛ me say me kebi radio station wo no so so be kan ne adekonti a waba ha na me kasa enti me kasa sa no na me say eboa omo enti no mu feel ye de me eka ho in saying so no I am not against Occupy Ghana.
Okay.
I'm not against them. They were doing the right thing. They were making their voices heard. I'm feel say Ghana could not continue like that.
And I agree with your support.
Yes, but I'm not Obi and Kuta card will occupy.
Very well, very well. Now talking about politics, have you been involved in politics all along, and how has your involvement been? And I say, I
haven't been. I'm not a known political figure, and I have not stood for any party or been a member of any party. And saying I'm a PPP home. But okay. I'm a Ghanaian who's concerned about how Ghana is governed.
All right. Okay. The position of vice president, which is say now it comes with a lot of responsibilities. Dr. Papa Kwesindum a power sebra never partner no na mundi se jumeti se no. Then a motivate you ma oje penye.
May I make my views heard about governance and about the way Ghana is going. I'm concerned about the levels of corruption. I'm concerned about education and how bad it's doing. I'm concerned about our health. I'm a Ghanaian, and every Ghanaian must be concerned of the way the country is going. Why not? Because I agree with the policies of the and the agenda of the PPP. Besides, the two other parties, or the two major parties, Mashem say, play divisive politics in that the country is divided largely along the two parties. So even through Occupy, because Amako Kasa said governance ain't correct in the era of the NDC, I'm immediately branded as NPP. There was really no middle line. So when you're NPP and now you're NDC, ukoka NPP DP, so you're NDC, ukoka NDC DP. And for me, Occupy, for example, represented something for me. So it was speaking against the way things are about governance in general. On Occupy say if it was NPP in power and I say BB Koronga, and also I'll make my voice heard. And for me, PPP seemed like the middle ground, the third party. What appealed to me, using pragmatic solutions for the problems of Ghana or the needs of Ghana, and attracted me to the PPP and Papa Kwesindo.
Okay, very well. After Yansha will as a person, then how did you say, Emma, would you say, a junior bit to me? Says, see, Kobana said PPP, Erene, now, Papa Kusindum, a president of Ghana, now, obey a vice president of Ghana. Would you say, Ube to me?
Ankamin, Ankamania, and Yagro. Oh, sorry, Pen Casameko, so, sorry, Sana Soka Meko. I know very well the implications of the step I've taken. And see, and yet, and this said, and ya grandma me. Right now, I'm at here, me here fame. Well, can I say you are known as Miss Ghana? And see, and this said, me pesa obibe who may be, and I say me here, I don't know how you say fame in tree. Me here fame, and I say. Enyonyam me nyanyam enyanyam ntina meko politics enye sike bia mepe ntina meko politics because my shame say Ghana development and I said they see air kono yanhwe ya ye betiti omanyi egu nti na mekoye nti no edwuma de enye nipa ba akọ na ye wo teams and a PPP has a good team. And a PP, so they, we believe in inclusiveness. It's me a bit me a friend for a kayan when any papa cope, in your party bacope, na they are my young and I Ghanaians. In Tianas and Crophobia me a becayan near ya. In I be so near ye. Now made me feel some part I met me a play to take Ghana out of this situation. No, ain't a man chance I make us a mayor. Now I know say there are people with like minds to send me and send me with this step I've taken they will also come along. And even if my cow baby so mom bekaye hupo I would feel say omombe kan but say ope na say obekọ no akosiesie party a woka ho a anka be nyina de because Ghana na yehwe enye a party.
Dr. Papa Kusindum, for instance, was quoted recently as saying that Ghana's economy, or fixing Ghana's economy, is beyond Mahama and Nanado. Not just say it is within PPP's means, and he has enumerated the number of jobs he's been able to create as an individual. Now, or they can't say, the Ghana man, not just between I near chance. But among for the donor, so criticize the PPP of lacking, viable policy alternatives. Is that the case? And
your more share policies, no. Our policy alternatives, the first interesting thing about the PPP's policy alternatives, and your rocket science, they are fundamentals. And your simple things are, or say common sense. Policies, no, and it doesn't have to be shrouded in complicated theories. It is simple, basic needs of the Ghanaian, and not necessarily government issue. Near say, say address education. Na say CC huge 200 classrooms. Na say the basics to say teachers are not being paid, and now say the system in which the children are running is not corrected. The school building is not going to make scholars. It is the simples and the simple things and the fundamentals. And the PPP policies, no, and yet bibia complicated, and yet bibia SSA and yet near fairness SSA near fata say, and those near fata no basic things, no. And I think say definition say all say it is beyond Mahama and Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Does not simplify it to say Dr. Papa Kusindum has the solution to all the problems, but we have solutions to the problems that have been created right now. And if it goes beyond them, that is to say, any one party solution never solve. We are talking about inclusiveness. What works for Ghana, not works in the interest of one party or other. Education, for example, on what team wasted 4 years, wasted 3 years, wasted 4 years, wasted. At the end of the day, whether it is 4 years or 3 years, there are young people who need solutions to 71% of failures over 6 years. That is the fundamental problem. It is not whether it is 4 years or 3 years. Whatever is happening, does it solve the need? If you assess what is going on, that's the students that comes out, and I doubt it's possible, but the year example, say 1 year, I pass 85%, 95%. Then we know that is it. That is the fundamentals we should look at. And then your party be because of their political agenda. And that is what he means.
All right. And so what would the PPP's approach be like, especially to tackling the problems of education and job creation?
Let's start with education. Education, PPP, I can say, we will pursue the free compulsory universal basic education. Our emphasis is on the compulsory, because we believe that every Ghanaian must have some level of education. Say almost a compulsory, but what compels the students to stay in school? And then they force you almost school. Parents are unable to do it, but parents are unable to do it because we are not enforcing the compulsory. We will enforce the compulsory. You better make sure say you can't say compulsory. People are there to enforce it. You see, near police, we see education police. Education police on which in Corona, so Mohus Abu Frebinko school. You saw Papa or him, whom I mean, one night so Yanko, at then Abu Frebinko school. You best sanction. Now, say parents name say you mark on free compulsory education. Now, say Obanko school, you bet sanction. You bet say it's Kevin Obetia, now say Chenny, I bet you are in a very loose sense. Say Obano Besoriana Paako school. That is a compulsory part we are saying, because Abu Frebiano and a Ghanaian Biano, you should have at least some basic education. continuous the continuous education say no that no you statistics no BEC over 6 years no be 71% e fail yentimente waso sa 71% over the 6 years no omo okro yi mo omo ye den wentimi anto aso anko wedu SSC so omo betro bi ebi se be self fail omo anto aso omo ye den omo ye kaya ana omo wo streets kwa so eton chains ana den yentime nyesa e gukro no hwa na on mehwe na ekro ni nko nanim ene ye ka se continuous no chese ye no we will abolish BEC no because o try no one pass ya eno anu no nko nanim enti ye be ka se monto aso a enkosi SS SS na ehonum na at least ukuta high school education. At least by that time no, you have some numeracy ultimate bon konta anazi enkanasa anasa ultimate kan ya de kakra. By that time no, not at least ubetimi esua nsano edwuma bi. So we will also improve on vocational education. We say no vocational education institutions improve on the vocational education sana obi ebitimi akosua nsano edwuma bi eye carpentry eye plumbing eye dressmaking eye hairdressing eye catering ana bibi at least omo ntimi anko into tertiary education ombeko enumu na omo aka no omo ato aso akọ ne omo qualify so monye. So that is the policy of the PPP on education.
But when they are doing say nyawaka no even though idea to aso kama but it cannot happen in a vacuum. Now obi junior high school uhwe ni mu say was so to aso senior high school but ye wo nyoma bi o ho a ebetumi as serve as barriers to the person moving on. For example, if you take a particular family or household where poverty is the order of the day, na nipa ni bedi anopakwa problem na e was say emufe wo ho ekoprekope bibi befie no eto de bia I mean the idea of going to school even though it's free becomes secondary.
And that is why the education police will enforce it, because education should not be secondary. We all know that every Ghanaian should be educated. Now when you're educated, that problem of poverty is one of the first solutions to the problem of poverty. And that's why the education is free. So we are not expecting parents to pay for that level of for education. It is free. And if it's free, make sure say because it's the educated child who is going to be the solution to your poverty.
Okay. Now talking about job creation, for example, Dr. Papa Kwesindu Mwayade as a private person in Yuma Bebre and which may be any day. But among for the donors who say managing a country or a whole nation is different from managing your own business.
It's just a larger scale. But as it is a larger scale, so are you exposed to larger resources, human and financial. I will bet me use it. They are improving. It's not always a private business. Now, if a private business can run, he cannot upscale it onto a larger scale.
But only by said the conditions will not be necessarily the same.
Why won't they be? A lot of the conditions that are, or a lot of the issues that are plaguing our economy is discipline. And Papa Kwesindum is saying that, first of all, let's look at our constitution and review it as has been proposed. The constitutional review is important. As a senior master. Constitution a certain number of amendments are required. Because the thing that is plaguing us is rule of law, discipline and injustice. And all those things are put in place. When laws are passed, people will learn to obey them, and that will be the beginning or the fundamental to running the country as a business. It's a Ghana corporation, a Ghana Incorporated, and a Ghana Limited. Ghana should be run as a profitable business which will profit people, everybody. So it's a capitalist point of view. But the thing about a capitalist point of view is, and we're not capitalists, well, as I said, we are pragmatists. But the thing is this: there are needs to be satisfied, and some of these needs, to satisfy them, we must discipline ourselves, and the discipline is required. And the one way we can get that discipline is to review our constitution.
My guest, PPP presidential running mate, Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku, and I'm not coming and I'm going be a bemo akunyano. I'm our friend. I own some sabakumi be already at home. Opening in Miss Ansem, Jimmy Semet to me bisa questions in Nara. Yanshe Han, my main message, campaign message, jobs. How differently and a PPP ever tackle the issue of unemployment from maybe the way the other parties will be going about it?
I don't know. I'm saying, the current government, so they have this youth in
national youth
employment age. Yes, Rebecca said Nansenya yet your monka after the first 4 years and your monka bia nyade. It's almost like putting out a bushfire with a cup of water. The problem is bigger than that. In every district in Ghana, Dr. Papa Kwesindo might identify any PPP. I identify, say there are opportunities that exist there. In Agric, Yafre baby to say Ashanti region, which always has gold. They have mined the gold there, but in refinery. We can always have a refinery there from which employment will be created. Our farms up north, Niadi, Agric can be mechanized, and that would provide jobs for more people. And see, for the PPP, we are looking at every district and what opportunities lie there. And indeed, there are opportunities everywhere. As we drove through from Volta region to Eastern region, I was looking at, for example, I like tourism. It's the tourism potential of all these places. Here say youth no ebe free any region. Mina ya begun crying say ebe pay juma because juma oha omubetimi aye. So for us, that is what we look at: the opportunities that lie, the potential that lie in each of these various regions. Fishing in the south of the Volta, fishing in the central and western region, and all these offshoots of these industries which can be created for people to work there.
Okay, so do you have any specific project in mind for the eastern region?
I need to revisit that, but I think that even in the eastern region there must be something to do with Agric. There's a potential, Agric potential in the eastern region. Even driving through, yesterday we were in a place called Ahumahumaso. Ahumahumaso has a huge market, and I must say even I purchased some plantains from there. And if you watch baskets of tomatoes, all the fresh foods that are there, because the road to Ahumahumaso was in a deplorable condition. Now dream say or maybe it's me out on Sunday money in an intimate Anton yet day. So for example, tomato processing factory that food will not go to waste. Also, no PPP, like I say, we will use the government machinery to buy produce from the people in the areas that are beyond Accra. And so when him say, do full kakraka tomatoes and whatever it is, and say, because when him say, it be a school feeding program, no, a buy betimi ato, I'm afraid edisa duani, and I say, beto, or say, be a buying crofobia, conference kakraka bi hotel bi kofodia. Omono mmeto ye niema na omode aye omoade. Using the government's purchasing power to empower the people. Sana
okay, using the government purchasing power to empower the people. At this point, you bet me afre na was in Missibia with the Abanimo no a say yenshada any a bekra in less than 1 minute. Now will be sawa sem to wabon tofa kama na the donansu 8 me afre. Number sabet me afre no a 03422 91259 03422 91259 and 036 2194636 036 2194636 Utia Diachin the development agenda of in Mohammed Zunurene. Now my guest and I pay a vice presidential candidate at the Progressive People's Party PPP Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku as Sabri OP Mantem on her bright awakening tour. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Nibacho Odenkenye. Nibacho you
I'm Chairman Damo.
Yes.
The question I want to say is no or can be said job said you're working. Yes, you say Ghana Hanum. We have signed so many agreements with international monetary organizations, IMF, World Bank. How many conditions are attached? And these things, committee hold it that. Now they are coming in the creative jobs. Your memo hana, you hear Captain Kafon, Beyakunya, and your coffee China for because of those agreements. Ghana 50 celebration, and also your China clause is because of those agreements. And it is a PPP. And I have signed it because of Millennium Challenge Authority in our for 25 years, we are going to serve that condition. It may be said, I have to sign the dano. Because yes, it cannot be a bill. So how are they going to rectify, first of all, rectify those already existing agreements and sana? You should tell us how they are going to do it.
Okay. Hello, good morning. What's that baby about you? I thought my niece took a crana in Sharantum Kappa.
You do not yet find your family and the corner. Every day I can't say I'm on bath, any money on my moment, my mamma, me did say, I'm motion here because, yeah, me, yes, yeah, for fast uncle for any bit, a few pounds, I'm on big, maybe a baby. I still have a pound with my name and also, I'm on by no 1 week, one see, come on when you're quite one. I stay near Dark at Jana Yomono. Tina comments no mefa, I thank you for it. I just take money or guano.
Quite where you may be now, come was him.
I'm a motor door chain and for the quamon.
Okay. Say you be you may feel quite one. Okay, it was a master agree. Hello, good morning. Hello, Mohammed. Nipacho within baby out free. Well, I knew me patriot you.
Mohammed, I'll come to the now, these will come again and say, when home, you know. That's the
okay.
Mohammed, about the public, that is big, in Manakwapa. Now, who could you put our swap? Instead of 1 minute, you'll be seeing any chair. I'm airport, the woman for the more this way airport. Because I was just said, my edition is a bit in the year. But the minister Kakane said, all your back are paid here, all share the campaign, and yet very smooth.
What's in the campaign in your day?
Now, and some back on the and Capo. And I think so, Mr. Seno, they have one not to be dear. Yeah, come for no, all share dear, but I mean, it will be any hope. After that, as she is so. You say,
okay.
The best sell of part, you're born fire. The Yakubu bought the beer 2 more. 4 years, I don't move. Order and the cool for right.
Okay, Yadawasi will let you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You about your would say now, Faith?
Anointing. Miss Free and Shawam.
Anointing me, Patrick, you.
me congratulate your mommy congratulations say akukura wanya obeso odeboa na esom Ghana mine. Now my question am the man no eni mami ya na muka musi enyuma say abejume mu no obi e boni kra no a yenyina kiu ye transfer mu man ko be di fufuro ense anya isa please go be kra ko abako rob obeti anya say transfer mu ko be di fufuro discipline in short discipline eni abejume mu e kwampen e kan be faso a mu be incubate discipline aba abejume mu a senior because host me bisa was say private sector any government sector no a difference more and also a difference more say with a bigger platform government sector and a bigger platform this really be so senior must control PPP you must be no but me the skills now apply what American na.
Okay, Recipe. Yamfa offer food chat to an afi min call Madam Hona we Semnano. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Miniam. Pacho didn't be free. Now, what's your first saying? Okay, Charles, it's you.
Oh, Mama, it's not a papa, Madame Napapa. Papa, baby, now I never could play the hammer wall. And it's oh, yeah, democracy, woman. It's a majority, no one, I really did there. Now, when you parliament, parliament, I cannot visit a coffee, now it's a parliament. Yeah, I am a kind of Sanka, a big year. And maybe one uncle no one, Papa, and the Pino, Nakata, before no more from my parliament to put the tree. Then come it near I want to move what I said when parliament to put the tree. And Sana, that no one said that more about it, Manamai. That's a yes, I quite tell him, Mum, did it. Put your one day our parliament. What you must be the you book. That's 1% of being home.
Okay. Middle Charles, young fancy for the meantime now. Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku in some na se me ma hokwanya yama onso afa. Me ba cho yen sha self from your first caller no eye odenke na o ka say as oman no ye dikan consensus agreement we be with abrofunu se mo ba kwan be na no edwin se mo betimi rectify that situation and sana mo so mo plans am wo no wotumi dia yejuma.
Agreements dear you can say you review agreements no and universally binding all the time. You can say a bit me we would request to say agreements no be reviewed and to see a balance agreements be what here say you be review you be revisit agreement near review no. To the
okay, Master Abbey, and so on only concern ye street hawkers near the one out on your maw and cry the congestion. Ya, Kumasasa, Kufudian, so I shall say a reason. Ugly head, our hand pavements in an amount for Tonyama, and when you can bend so na a PPP are buying a bit dealing with it.
Oh, say, if it's a can't say, you can't jobs, you can't isolation, education, also come. Nkrofo yi fan o drop pay out o do baby o ntimi anto aso yes na nipa ni ntimi anto aso a eso didi entina wa end up on streets or ton ade no and say if we tackle education compulsory education na we be say sa numbers no be start reduce the jobs will also take care of the others.
But bit more why yes only a drop out. Personally me nkofuni bi action komo. Obi wa ya na dream say e ho no nyisika. We ya ne dan ya won ko ba bia. And to make matters worse, e bi nso ni mama for within the assembly and law enforcing agencies. Nti se omo ba soup kra na e ya omo tuminya hint ni say o ene ye ba. The person wouldn't come, but why you not doing so? You so
that is why your constitution should work and your law enforcement should work. If you ensure, say, your law enforcement works, and say people are held accountable. This doesn't happen in everywhere. There are countries that Ghanaians are not special. there are countries on which for Nam streets council and Tonga in the middle of the streets. It can be done in Ghana if you enforce the laws and you put the right people in place to supervise, to ensure the will to perform and the political will to do. Say your will no votes to remain in power, and we don't want to do the right thing. The right thing means that the laws should be enforced rigorously. And making sure say your laws no work. If you are supposed to be in school, be in school. If you are not supposed to be selling on the streets and there's going to be a soup, you should ensure. Because I can say, okay, task force be here say making sure say free streets council. That's a menamho. That's a I must ask, say, what is this body or this service performing? What are they doing? Because that is what they are paid to do. And then we have a case where people are paid and they do not do the work they are supposed to do, and that must be changed according to the constitution.
Very well. Well, I know the answer if you na odema or say your baby na protect your dignity during this campaigning period. Now fi voter Virginia or see ejuma in you ni aden emunso ya na wabo so kama anointing in sawam as a public actor no and say be abone kra instead of say be a dismissal no ni a transfer ni ade nti ama for entini wo mo ho enye ejuma ni yi emunso ka ho na public sector enkonkan no kwa be so na PPP abanda faso na senior Dr. Papa Kusindum etumi amanage ne wo kra wonso ye private business person or private billionaire de kwa be na mo betumi transfer that killer mo de manage mo private businesses no they are manage my Ghana na etumi ayejuma.
Okay, to say your kind Ghana we have a constitution. Your constitution where maka but my main camp. One of the things constitutional review is to separate the Attorney General's office from the Ministry of Justice. Now, to do that, in doing so, it makes the Attorney General and the Public Prosecutor independent of the Ministry of Justice. Yes, Anna, they are free to prosecute whoever goes wrong or falls foul of the law, regardless, say, you are part of the ruling government or you are a functionary of the government, and now say you are someone who knows people in high places. If those two positions are separated, the public prosecutor is free to do what he can do. So say, there's a lot of influence because the Minister of Justice serves as the Attorney General, and also my conflict of interest. Entina yentime and enforce a rule. Be a bonia transfer and I say yeah denako baby fufo. To ensure that the people are held accountable, the Attorney General must be free to prosecute, and that will only come from the constitutional review, which we still stand by.
After Charles, and so as a share PPP, say I'm for bit to me at PPP in Kana, PPP to me, Maya,
on discipline, my maker, no fair from Sawam, no, yeah, Baho. Into Omba, I can't say the exact venue, but Omba na Omakayon. Okay, right. Now or can say representation in Parliament. Muni be crowd. You see, I dare to mark Casepa. It's a no Cabena. Faso. Yes, same. Until put a amount for see been more. Almost shada in your genuine dialing the room members of PPP, but on place KD into Omshada. I am so many people before. The thing about that is it's a matter of trust, but we accept all. It's an inclusive party. I think say one kasaoba when you died in the war, I'm not died in the war, but I believe in the policies of the PPP. I believe in the agenda of the PPP, and the agenda of the PPP is based on fundamentals: truth, honesty, integrity. These are fundamental things. No credit not because we want to win votes, not because We don't tell stories. Yanko can announce assembly and fan pay votes keke. Na yen fan power. Na yen do so yen jumano. Yes, so let's do the right thing, and that is what we believe in. So now you don't believe in the truth. You yourself, you'll be exposed. Okay. But if you are saying say any parliamentary, we have so many candidates doing wonderful work, and they are getting the support. And you find us there.
Okay, we are about wrapping up until NCBI. That's already so now no sports for family born in Chinese and beside question we are or say in the area of sports ocean and say Ghana Olympics and koyu not just say no share ben work so to na fi ya share so the fact that PPP to safre amount for say ombe komo na adintina so united with others. For instance na Papa Dr. Pakosi, a member of CPP in Kumai's front, I will say women to me and unite woman who ever honmona identity and PPP appreciate afro and Becca woman who united with them.
I may answer sports the NFS. Me I'm a sportswoman. I've been a sportswoman all my life. Yes, say no. Yes, schools. Our schools no any sports facilities. A healthy mind makes a healthy body makes a healthy mind. Greeks a Canada. And to send yeah, mama for is 13 subjects, 14 subjects. Now yeah, start sports no from basis enko baby yeah, me and shate sports no and football pay. Sports disciplines no dorsum p me about tennis is not for everybody, but we can soccer no cry na say we can say football is a sense footballer we see school no we see football field we see school no football field yeah running tracks na twa ho hia athletics mo mama for yeah what primary school ni yeah basic level athletics yeah nyina ye kokambom e wo work stadium Accra na baby competition e man krofo kra behwe ni nyina ye jai you free as if it's as in collaboration for same boats no almost start and to America time on Moody 20 ye shall be age 4 age 5 and ye shall see near shall see we see school cause we see 200 schools no make sure say sports facilities and recreational facilities. So I know they are very passionate about it. PPP before we talk about preventative health, one of the areas of preventative health is sports and fitness. Yeah, before with the shenasia no the benyi that is where we have to start from when it comes to sports. Then we'll see our people go far, and we have to put money behind it, and putting money behind it is not just soccer. You did $3.5 million every full plane across it is starting from the basics, the fundamentals, develop the interest in the people. And and because the person has the interest to excel for his country. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, so what makes you so confident, Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku, that PPP will win this year's election?
I have gone into the communities, villages, we've been traveling around, and the response is good. People are ready for change. They are tired of the two major parties, MPP, NDC. It's breaking us apart, it's causing divisions. People want unity, people want development. They are tired. They want a job. Omankas almost say yes, the same yabre. Intim papa patron someone one market into Sobeba Beshano.
All right. Yeah, that was it, Bebre, Miss Brigitte Dzogbenuku, presidential running mates, Edema, Dr. Papakosi Indum, Progressive People's Party's presidential candidate for this year's election. Ono, and no pay and no chin common GBC Sunrise Adiachi development agenda of our Edmediano. And so a Hanuman in Comatuchano ABC, Medina de Mohammed, Zunurene, Minute production team, technical crew, Nayado Asibe, Saukai, who ever do Sabri, Macau, Sabri, Macau.